The other side of our studio, revved up, ready to go. Emma James. Donald Trump's first 100 days. The celebration, the recrimination, the examination, it's all underway.
It is. Everyone's talking about it, but ordinarily here on Media Watch, we don't get much of our political analysis from cartoon shows. But of course, it was The Simpsons who were really one of the first to predict that we could have a President Trump. That was back in the year 2000, would you believe? Now they're doing a special episode marking the first 100 days of Donald Trump's presidency. Let's take a look at a clip.
I am not replacing him.
Don't wrinkle the suit! 100 days in office, so many accomplishments, lowered my golf handicap, my Twitter following increased by 700, and finally, we can shoot hibernating bears. My boys will love that.
Sir, here's a new bill that you must read immediately. It lowers taxes for only Republicans.
Can't Fox News read it and I'll watch what they say?
No, you have to read it.
So there you go. Pretty biting satire there. Note the appearance from Sean Spicer in very unfortunate circumstances, Kellyanne Conway, and of course it was Jared Kushner and Steve Bannon having something of a wrestling match, it would appear, trying to strangle one another. The Washington Post talks about this, saying that it really is a very dark, satirical take, as we saw. It also went on to talk about Ivanka Trump becoming a Supreme Court judge, and it also has Marge running out of Prozac, and she said the supply was supposed to last her for the full 4 years of Donald Trump's term in office, but she's already run out after 100 days. Now, the full episode will be screened on Sunday. There's just a 1.5-minute clip available on YouTube right now. As for other cartoonists, taking a look at this, Anne Telnays has Donald Trump bumping along in a golf cart saying, my first 100 days like you've never seen before.
That's fairly true.
Absolutely, can't argue with that one. And Adams has let's celebrate this with a bang, a 100 days cake topped, of course, with missiles.
Ooh.
Now, Donald Trump himself didn't seem to think all that much of this measure of a presidency, tweeting a little earlier this month, no matter how much I accomplished during the ridiculous standard of the first 100 days, and it has been a lot, media will kill.
That's consistent for Trump. He blames the media every time.
Absolutely. And he probably won't want to be looking at too many of the headlines that are around right now. A lot of them make for grim reading for him. Trump remains the least popular president in history ahead of his 100-day milestone. Now, the polling began when President Eisenhower was in the Oval Office, so that's how far back this goes. Business Insider quoting a poll that has 54% of people disapproving of how Donald Trump has handled his presidency so far. Now, of course, Donald Trump would probably say that's fake news, but his favoured choice is, of course, Fox News, and these are the results of a poll that they carried out, a 100 days comparison. Would you vote to re-elect Trump? 36% said yes, that's pretty low, 55% no, obviously some undecideds in there. Compare that with Obama in 2009, 52% would re-elect him, 31% said no.
And that was Fox News.
That's Fox News.
Fox News, the one that Donald Trump watches.
Absolutely.
So he's right. His media has killed it. There you go. See? There you go. Donald Trump got it right again. Are we moving on?
We're moving on.
The campaign in full swing here in France, of course, for the presidential election, round 2 on May the 7th. Emmanuel Macron and Marine Le Pen. Macron had an easier day of it today, perhaps?
Yes, I think it's fair to say. Obviously, yesterday he was in the north of France, which is very much Marine Le Pen heartland. Got a bit of a rough reception initially in Amiens. Today, it really has been the battle of the PR images for the two candidates. You've got Emmanuel Macron getting a hug in Sarcelles, an area just north of Paris, not the most wealthy, affluent of places. It's quite a down-at-heel suburb, really. And Marine Le Pen, I'm not quite sure what she's doing with that octopus, but she was out in the Mediterranean Sea ahead of her later appearance at a rally in Nice.
That's an octopus she's dealing with, yeah?
Yes, I don't know what she's doing to it. It looks rather sinister. But anyway, Macron's supporters have been tweeting lots of images like this one, saying there was a superb welcome for Macron in Sarcelles. The children singing Macron president, and she said these neighbourhoods have talent and a will to succeed. Emmanuel Macron himself tweeting to this little video of him actually indulging in a little bit of football with some of the children of Sarcelles. That's a footballing phrase, plat du pied sécurité. I'm not quite sure what it means, something to do
It was
with
a nice little side foot,
ball
you know.
control.
Side foot, which is
Anyway.
kind of saved, and the wordplay on saving.
So yes, as you can see, he's certainly getting in amongst the people here in Sarcelles. What we do see, though, is that some people are taking to Twitter really to criticise him, saying this is the same person who criticised Marine Le Pen for taking selfies. She, of course, took selfies with those workers at a factory in Amiens yesterday and didn't really stay to talk with them for too long, whereas Emmanuel Macron stayed around and then said about her that she just stayed there for a quick photo opportunity and then disappeared. Another critic saying this, selfies or not selfies, that is the question. But the image there is really rather a nice one, so using that to criticise Emmanuel Macron, possibly not the most successful way to do it. One other thing that I have noticed on Twitter today in particular, and this Twitter user has obviously seen it too, apparently it is annoying the fasciosphere, as she calls it, fascists here in France, that Emmanuel Macron is having fun with kids when their party would call them yobs or riffraff.
Scum.
Absolutely. It's not a nice word to use. And to be fair, there is a lot of it out there. This is probably one of the milder ones. This person saying yobs, Islamists, drug traffickers would all support anyone who was facing Le Pen. And note the image there. It's almost as though he believes they're all in cages. It's really quite sinister.
It's incredibly sinister and racist. And
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Emmanuel Macron has actually ridden to the defence of the people of Sarcelles, saying they want to do better. And he's also pointing out that he will never let Marine Le Pen normalise the National Front. It is a party that is xenophobic, he says, and that is something that a lot of people seem to be forgetting as they're talking about, I'm not going to vote because I wanted Jean-Luc Mélenchon to get through. That seems to be the popular stance. A lot of people saying they're going to abstain. He's saying, don't do it. It's a xenophobic party.
get out and vote. That's the message. And people of Sarcelles, I come from a place just like Sarcelles, so there you go. Emma, thank you very much indeed.